Right, we're back again with the Haywood Plains channel. Working on the 57 Ford Thunderbird. And, well, this is kind of where things are situated at the moment. So, what have we done? Well, we've got carpet into the cockpit, passenger cabin. And it could have been better. I used a different adhesive this time, and I think next time I'll go back to the white glue and water mixture. I think the ratio is something like, I don't know, this much glue and that much water, something like that. It's hardly any water to the glue ratio. You almost just wet the brush, smear it in the glue, stir it around a bit, and then brush that on. And I've got you see I've done the lower portion of the doors with the carpet effect. Again, it could have been better. Next time we'll use the glue we used the first time. Next time, the first time. Right, so how's the car looking? Well, this is how it turned out as far as the underside of the chassis goes. So I used light gunmetal on the mufflers, aluminum on the tube, on the exhaust plumbing, matte black on the frame, and aluminum on the pans, the floor pans, and you can see the engine is installed. It's not falling out, flipping around, flopping out. Wheel package. I went with the steel rims and hubcaps, but on the wider tires. So you just have to play around with the wheel backs to find that sweet spot that captures the rubber, doesn't squeeze it over hard, but doesn't leave it so loose in there that it's floppy. You don't want flippy floppy tires on your wheel hubs or wheel rims, so you got to find that, like I said, that sweet spot, that balance. Now, the body. She's going to need some paint. But first, I want to line this roof. I want to skin this with cardstock, and then we're going to paint this interior in the light tan color. And then the exterior of the roof, I'm leaning now towards racing white on this. Potentially with a wide green stripe, wide racing green stripe, or perhaps two wide stripes down the top, center of the top there, and then the overall body in the racing green, the British green color. So the door fit is going to be okay. Now it's not terrific. This is a little bit wider gap here at the top of the door than it is here at the bend. Let's see if you can see that. And it's almost the same on both sides. Where the door skins go into the openings, there's a bit of a gap. It's less on this door than it is on this one. We're just going to live with it. Fixing that up, a bit of styrene, and a lot of sanding and shaping, and probably some filler to get it clean, to get it to look clean. I think with paint on it in the darker green color, I think we're going to be okay just to leave it. If I start messing with it, it could end up looking like I started to mess with it rather than something that we could have just skidded by with. So we're going to do some skidding. Then on the grill, which goes in this way, not the other way, just going to paint this with matte black. Just mask off the perimeter of the grill. So we'll mask off this area out here, the perimeter, spray this with black, and then with 1000 grit, just a small bit of 1000 grit, 1000 grit sandpaper, I'll just come and sand just a light spray of the black. So just the lightest bit of sanding will reveal the chrome on these on the grill, on the cross members of the grill here. At least that's my story. That's our plan. We'll see if it pans out. Also on the body, the headlight. What do you call these? Fairings, I guess, are on. These had to be added. They're separate. They're not molded onto the body. These are glued on. And I'll have to drill through them, which is no big deal. I'm going to drill holes about, well, where'd my drill go? Anyway, I guess about this diameter. Drill the holes through at about that diameter, and then the lights will be glued to the back here to shine through. And that whole thing will be in about a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch long section of the aluminum tubing to prevent the light from bleeding through everywhere. And we'll do that both in the front headlights and on the taillights. The taillight's already open. That's already been established as an opening there, the holes. So we'll just run with those. And again, we just glue the bulb right to the back of this plastic and then slide the aluminum over it before we make all the connections. So we'll have lighting installed. Paint, as far as the body goes, this is pretty soon I'm going to need to, and we'll just tape the door skins in place, pretty much like so. We'll spray the body. I think first what I'll do is spray the jambs, spray the interior of the car, all in the same racing green. We'll spray all of that first, then we'll let that dry, and then tape the door skins on from the inside. So place these, tape them in so they can't move, and that way we get an even coloration, even number of coats, even coloration on the green between the doors and the body. If I leave the doors off, spray the body, and then spray the doors separately, we run the risk of having the doors either being too light or too dark and not matching the body. So the way to achieve that match is to have the skins on. And once we get those painted up, and they'll be painted inside and out, the door skins, because when you attach them to the door cards, the inners, there's a reveal all the way around. This is about where the door would go, right there. And so you see all this white area has to be British Racing Green. So we might as well just paint the entire inside, and then we'll paint these on the car, and then when we remove the tape, and we can then stick them onto the doors. And then we can install the doors using the door hinge traps. Right, these get cemented into the sidewalls of the car body, and we'll make sure at that point we got a good location for these so they open and close freely and all that stuff. We'll probably attach a small section of our birch ply to get a friction fit on the doors when they're in the closed position. Okie dokie, so there's that step to be done. Also, I cut off these odd frame parts here. So this part was molded as part of the door, but the angle was wrong in such that it didn't match the angles that they needed to follow with the frame, with the window frame. So what I'm going to do instead is glue these to the frame here like this, so we got a nice perfect shape there. And then when the doors open and close, this won't be part of the door, it'll be part of the window frame. And that made the most sense to me anyway. So there's that. Right, so lots of little steps here to do. We're going to skin this guy as the next step here. And then we're going to get this interior sprayed with the tan color. Using wooden deck tan because it's what I had in stock. We're trying to save money here and there by, I've since splurged on another. I wasn't going to do it, but I bought another model, and So I'm trying to just use up materials that I've got, the paints especially. The longer they sit in these cans and unused, the greater likelihood that they won't spray properly. It'll just be wasted money, and I don't want that. All right, so we'll get this going. But there you are, caught up on the project as it sits. I've got the cardstock trunk all done up. That's the other thing I need to do is drill out the trunk for the switch wiring, and so I can leave the battery and the switch back here, and just open the trunk to turn everything on, or to pull the battery out and swap it when it does, and all that fun stuff, just like we did with the Chevy. All right, this one's for Otto. The other one is Odin's car, and that'll be both done. And I kind of wanted to do that because I've got the house project, the dollhouse project going for Olivia, and that's just, that's a really involved project. That's over a year into it already, and there's probably going to be Christmas before I get it finished. But that's just the way she goes. So yeah, that should be this video. When I do make the next one, I think it'll be the assembly, and I'll do the assembly on camera. I know I don't like to do that because things get sideways when the camera's turned on somehow. I don't know, but we'll just do it, whatever, and because it's better if while I'm doing the channel, to try and record as much of the work as I can. Now, that being said, and I guess I want to talk about these door inners again. So you can see here that I wrapped partially along the outside of the door card and into the thickness of these door inners, and that's because they're so thick and disproportionately and not to scale thick, that I thought if I masked out a little ways, it might maybe give an impression of a thinner, total door thickness than what we actually have. So let me kind of show you how that worked. And you'll have to imagine, that this has been sprayed green. You can see how thick these doors are, but by wrapping, putting down the tan layer and then laying a run of tape around onto the back, the bottom, and sides, it gives the impression a little bit of just a slightly thinner door. And I think it looks better on these types of kits where they have these, massively thick, not to scale doors, rather than just remaking the whole thing and doing your own doors or gluing them shut, and not having that feature of the models. I don't know how many people are out there that build the cars. I'll say this: the channel, my viewers seem to prefer the more difficult balsa kits, and I get that. There's not a whole lot of attention being paid on the car videos, but I wanted just to do it mostly to, I don't know, just so you can see there is a result to be had from these, I guess. And if there are kids, in your life, the grandkids or sons and daughters, I don't know, everybody's age or relationship status or any of that stuff, I'm just saying, whatever it is I'm saying, is that these can be built up, and it's time well spent. And I've had the boys in here with me over some of this, and they keep coming over to the house, and they see the progress on it. The little one will say, "Well, how's the car? Where is it? Is this it?" He's looking at all the parts, and I'll show him how they kind of fit together, and he kind of gets a little excited, and it's fun. And I don't put them on camera because, that's a thing that their parents would want to have control over, how much exposure, they have, and I totally understand that. I wouldn't just put the kids on on camera or whatever, just because of the way things are in the world and whatnot. You all know what I'm saying. So we don't just put the kids on camera. But just, know that, I mean, for me anyway, half the fun is just seeing them, watching the work and spending time with me, and, me getting to do something for them and all that. So, it's for the kids. So we get the thing going together. These kits are not, this thing was $20, 25 maybe. I think it was on sale or whatever. The Chevy was the same price, not expensive. And, granted, if you're using adhesives, some of them can be a little tricky. You want to probably, depending on how old your kids are, if you've got older STEM, kids and science projects and science classes and stuff, doing projects like this, or rocketry, or any of a number of things where you're working with your hands and making something, and whatever. I don't know. Just all right. So anyway, here's where we sit on the project. Not much more yet to do. We're getting real close to having her done. This is the brake master. This is the heating heater and fan unit. So there will be hoses to connect to these, brake lines to fabricate, radiator and shroud right here, the battery. We'll try and hook up some cables to the battery. Since we've got ignition wiring, you might as well have the battery connected, and all that fun stuff. Pardon me. Right, so yeah. Oh, the thing that I bought, the kit that I wasn't going to buy, I was going to finish all the products I have before I started doing well. It's this. And the reason I needed this, the reason I wanted this, anyways, because I bought one years ago, before we were living in this house, and my son was very young. And